in the national treasury. I mean, it's a national treasure, one of his books and all of his studies that have been put into that. And I am honored to be able to host this program and bring to you Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, team, for everybody being there. Ruth Ellen, Nasima, John T. Appreciate everybody. I know this is in some places early in the morning. Appreciate everybody being on. And you know, the Earth keeps turning, and as a result, we passed 33 million infections the other day, and I had been predicting that going up at a rate of 65,000 to 70,000 a day. We hit 33,044,872 infections, and we're just short of 600,000 dead, 589,221. So the way it's going here, by the end of this next week, we shall be at over 600,000 dead. And that's what we get for following Fauci's instructions for a year and a half ago. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and distance. He only gave us 3% of what we needed. He said nothing about supporting your immune system. He said nothing about supplementing to make sure that your immune system gets all the raw materials it needs to maximize its not only function, but also maximize its response to the vaccinations. Vaccinations do not kill viruses, bacteria, fungus, or yeast. Vaccinations only alert your body to bad DNA and RNA from the bugs. The vaccinations do not kill bugs. And so if your body cannot respond to the vaccination, nothing happens. And there's so many people now dying and getting the bug, even though they've been vaccinated, because they've been eating gluten for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. Their intestines are dead. They only have less than 2% absorption. They can't get nutrients to their, even if they're supplementing, they can't get nutrients to their bone marrow. And then they wonder why they've had their 2 vaccinations and they're still dying. Well, that's because they've been eating gluten for all these years. Their intestines are dead. And they're not supplementing. And, you know, they're all running around having parties and getting together, and the infection rate's skyrocketing again. Same thing in India. India just passed 18,762,000, and they're going up. Let me give you some figures here. They're going up at like a crazy rate. They're going up new dead every day in India, over 2,800, just about 3,000 new deaths a day. And they say, the experts are saying that the death rate is maybe 20 to 30 to 40, 50 times more than they're actually reporting. Okay, the streets are full of bonfires where they're throwing the bodies in because the mortuaries can't handle the bodies, so they're just cremating the bodies in the middle of the streets. In India, it's like going crazy there. They have 4 variants, 4 mutations of the original virus. And so they have a lot going on in India, and many countries have stopped people going into India and stopped people from leaving India and going into their countries. And so, as they say, it ain't over till it's over, and it's certainly not over yet. And I want to remind everybody that you go back to 2003 when we had that big H1N1 outbreak. And remember, before that, we had the Asian flu, we had HIV, we had AIDS, we had the polio stuff, all those things going on. In 1918, we had the Spanish flu. And then they thought it was kind of under control there. And then 2 years later, in 2005, the COVID-2, SARS, MERS, and COVID-19 shows up, and it started killing tens of thousands of people a day. I mean, it was like scary. And so this is going to keep going on here until people change their ways. Okay, they've got to stop eating gluten and eat like Asians. Why is it that the Asians have so few sicknesses compared to us? Okay. In fact, there's a very interesting little thing came on the email this morning. It was a set of identical twins from Thailand, which we talk about all the time, Thailand, a great little Asian country, 67 million people, just like the UK, 67 million people. And the UK has 4.3 million infections and 127,000 dead. The Thailand, with the same population, 67 million people, have 29 thousand dead versus 4 million, and only, 95 dead and 29,000 infections versus 4 million infections, 127,000 dead. So what's the difference? Well, Thailand is a classic Asian country. They live on rice and maize and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweed. They're getting a lot of trace minerals in the seaweed, which their bone marrow likes. And you have to appreciate that the thing that I saw on the internet this morning was a pair of identical twins. They're in their 60s. They didn't give the exact date. I'm going to do more research and find out who they were. But they're identical twins. And one, after, they were 5 or 6 years old, really took heavy doses of vitamins and minerals, and the other one did, refused to take the vitamins and minerals. And so when you look at them, remember, they're in their 60s. One looks like he's 30, and the other one looks like he's 70 or 80, identical twins. And so I'm going to get more information on them because that's a great little story there. I wouldn't do that in an experiment with humans because that's you're relegating one to doom. But you can take a litter of puppies, one litter, has 10 babies, put 5 of them on the supplements and 5 of them not on the supplements. It's going to be a dramatic difference. And so all vertebrates are going to respond the same way. And remember, the prenatal vitamins, ladies, are to be taken before pregnancy, not, oh gosh, I've missed 2 periods, you run to the drugstore and you get a test, and sure enough, you pee on this little thing, I'm pregnant. Oh my gosh, you've been 2 months without vitamins and minerals. That embryo is in real danger. It may already have 16 different birth defects. Okay, everything from gender issues to cleft palate. It could have limb defects, heart defects, all kinds of stuff. And the doctor says, well, you got this in the background in your family, it's a genetic thing. No, you weren't taking your prenatal vitamins like you're supposed to. Okay, they're called prenatal vitamins because you're supposed to take them before you get pregnant, not 2 months into your pregnancy. And during wars and pandemics, the rate of birth defects and deaths in young adults skyrockets, okay, because they're not eating well, they're eating badly, they're not supplementing, and then they're wondering why all this is happening. It's not bad genes, okay, it's not autoimmune, your body's not attacking itself. It's what we call epigenetics. And I urge everybody to get a hold of that book and the 2 CDs that go along with it. One CD is Bruce Lipton, he and I are considered the 2 fathers of the science. Remember, my thesis, which represents 20,000 autopsies, is in the Smithsonian Institute, as you were saying, Rebecca, as a national treasure, okay, because they showed there were no genetically transmitted diseases and there are no genetically transmitted birth defects. And so this is unimpeachable. That was put into the Smithsonian Institute in the early 1980s, 1984, okay? And of course, it was a 10-year study, $25 million grant. They have to appreciate that is a lot of money for a kid, yeah, I'm only like.
You were how old, Dr. Wallach, when you got
Huh?
a grant for $3 million? You were how old?
Okay, when we got that grant, I was 27 years old. Okay, I had just come back. Yeah, I just came back. I just came back from Africa. Okay, I had been there for 2 years working on the White Rhino Conservation Project, which is documented in the book Operation Rhino. It's a great little, live, which I say, dramatic, everything from pictures to written stuff of 2 years of saving a white rhino, establishing wild animal parks for them. We went from 470 left alive back then. I personally caught 200 of them, sent them back here to the United States. So if you see a white rhino in a wild animal park or a zoo, it's either one that I caught or offspring's the ones that I caught. And because of those 3 wild animal parks we established in Natal, one big province in South Africa. I didn't even speak English for 2 years, had to learn how to speak Zulu and Matabele and Afrikaans. Otherwise, I didn't get dinner, right? Had to learn how to speak those languages. And so now there's 25,000 white rhino left in the world. And so we're very, very proud of that. And it's all documented in the book, Operation Rhino. So every kid needs to read that, especially if they want to be a biologist or work with wildlife or work in science, because we do have the capacity to fix things. And one more thing here, and I'll turn it back to you. And that is the thing you have to appreciate is that we have a big problem in the environment. Okay, everybody I think kind of generally knows that. And the problem in the environment is that we're still burning fossil fuels, and we've dammed up the rivers and this is ironic, we've dammed up the rivers for hydroelectricity. And everybody wants you to believe that the carbon dioxide going up in the air is due to fossil fuels, car, gasoline, oil, that sort of stuff. No, ironically, it's because of 1 million hydroelectric dams damming up the big rivers of the world to make electricity, and 2 million dams damming up the rivers of the world for water conservation and also for irrigation. We've dammed up the rivers and we cut off the food supply to the ocean. You have to appreciate that the ocean has 3/5 of the world's supply of plant life. Okay, because not only are the algae and the seaweed and kelp and things growing from the bottom of the ocean, but also is floating in the ocean. All the seaweed and things are floating and the algae is floating in the ocean. So you got a 3-dimensional plant mass in the ocean. And so it far exceeds the plant mass on the land. When you cut off the food supply to the ocean, you cut off the nutrition to the algae and kelp and seaweed that's required for them to convert carbon dioxide into carbon chains. And so the carbon in the air keeps going up. And the biggest example, of course, is in Queensland and northwestern Australia, where the Great Barrier Reef kind of hugs that shoreline. They built 3 dams 25 years ago, damming up the 2 big rivers in Queensland, which had been feeding the Great Barrier Reef since the beginning of time. They cut off the food supply to the Great Barrier Reef, and within 10 years is near dead now. Okay, I'm working. I'm trying to get some, and so for anybody listening out there, go to your fossil fuel people, go to your gasoline people, your oil drillers, go to gasoline people that are getting gasoline out of crude oil, okay? And say, hey, you give Wallach a grant, just give him $500,000 and he will go and he knows how to get all that material, all those minerals into the Great Barrier Reef, and he'll bring it back alive within 90 days and prove what he's saying. Okay, but it's going to take about $500,000 to $1 million to pull it off. And I don't want to cut people's electricity off. So we actually found a way to get augers to take the silt from behind the dams, around the dams, through the dams, over the dams. And in the meantime, we have our plant, let's see here, our plant minerals, okay, not ground up rocks, but plant minerals. So they've already been pre-digested by the plants. All right, and our Bloomin' Minerals has 75 different minerals in it. And these minerals go back to the beginning of time. And so we're harvesting them from the bottom of the ocean. We've been doing that for 50 years now. And that's what makes our minerals different. Ours are not ground up rocks. Ours are plant-based minerals. The plants have already pre-digested them so everybody can use them. So back to you.
Well, Dr. Wallach, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I've had a lot of people say, well, I take my vitamins. Why is the plant derived so important?
Because the plants pre-digest the minerals so that they're biologically available to us. If you just grind up a rock and eat it, you might get 2% of the value of the minerals there. But our minerals, you get 100%. Okay, and there's 75 minerals in there. And of course, they're in our Rebound, which we've developed for professional athletes and Olympic athletes and so forth. It's in our plant minerals. It's in our mineral caps. It's in our cherry mints, our strawberry kiwi minerals, our Bloomin' Minerals, which is our fertilizer. We also have our herbal rainforest, which has 13 herbs in it from the Amazon River Valley in South America, plus the 75 minerals. And we have our pink Himalayan salt, which was all the sea minerals and the salt that was left in the Himalayan mountains after those oceans disappeared 1 million years ago. And so the minerals didn't go away. They just went down and filled up the valleys of that salt. And so in our savor division, our spice division of longevity, we have our pink Himalayan salt, which I had this morning on my sweet potato with butter. And I had 3 soft-boiled eggs, which I put my our salt, our pink Himalayan salt on my eggs. And then of course I had my red sockeye smoked wild salmon from Alaska. I have 2 big slices that they're about the size and diameter of slices of bread, but they're only like 1/8 of an inch thick. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, are they good. And I had my yogurt and I had all my supplements. And this has been my what should I say, my routine, my ritual, if you will, for 73 years. I've been doing this for 73 years, gluten-free and taking the 90 essential nutrients for 73 years. Now, I'm 82 years old. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me. They can't believe that I'm 82 years old. And that's because I don't have any pre-existing conditions. I don't have any disease. I don't have any problems. I don't have any arthritis and high blood pressure and diabetes and heart disease and kidney failure, dialysis and peripheral neuropathies and all kinds of stuff. I only lost one tooth, and that was in a physical fight with three guys who were trying to mug me. And I knocked out one of them. I knocked out all of his teeth, and he had to go to the hospital. So they left me alone.
So Dr. Wallach, I know that you like to see people whenever you're giving protocols and stuff.
Yes.
And one thing that I noticed, you don't have dark circles under your eyes. You don't
No.
have crepey skin. Your eyes are still bright. So, I mean, you're a living testament of what you have been promoting to the public for 50 years.
That's correct. Now, when I was 9 years old, I didn't have a business yet, but people were seeing me differently than before I started taking the minerals. And it's one of those things where people were whispering in the church and pointing to me because they didn't have a name for it back when I was 9 years old, but I had really very aggressive, bad, every kind of behavioral problem you could think of in kids, which, they have like 6 or 8 or 10 of them now. Back then, they didn't have names for them. And my parents took me to 20 different doctors and they couldn't figure it out. And the last one, Mary Jane Skeffington, she's a little grandmotherly pediatrician from St. Louis, Missouri. And she says they had to institutionalize me because I was going to hurt somebody else or kill myself or something because it was so aggressive. And I didn't like it. They were going to put me in an institution for the rest of my life. I'm only 9 years old. So that night, I figured out that animals are getting something different than us. So the next morning I threw the Cheerios out to the chickens and I went to the barn and got the alfalfa pellets that were given the calves and the pigs and the chickens with the vitamins, minerals in it, and put that in my cereal bowl, put milk in it. And 3 days after eating those alfalfa pellets with all the vitamins and minerals in it, I was cured after 5 years of getting worse and worse and worse and 20 doctors failing to fix me.
You've taken that experience as a child and you used it to build a career.
That's correct.
And that career, Dr. Wallach, isn't just providing money for you and your family, but actually providing an opportunity for millions of people to provide money for their family. But the best part about it, Dr. Wallach, the best part about it is we have purpose.
Oh yeah, our purpose is to save as many as we can. And of course, this is something that everybody can do. It doesn't take rocket science to do this because we've put everything into something that's very simple and everybody has access to it. And so, writing 2 more books here, okay, coming out, maybe 3, but certainly 2. And one of the things I looked at was in the Old Testament, they had 83 miracles that they documented in the Old Testament, through the various chapters in the Old Testament. The New Testament, they had 80 miracles, which they documented in the various chapters of the New Testament. Rebecca, I do more than 2 million miracles a day. Now, I have the advantage. Yeah, you've lost 95 pounds, and how many different health problems did you get rid of?
17, I think, is what I counted last.
You got rid of 17 different health problems. Yeah. Now, again, this is not rocket scientists. And now you think about this. And so the title of this one book I'm working on, which I'm like 2/3 of the way done. So it'll be out by the end of this year, or certainly in the first quarter of next year. The title is The Third Testament. There was the Old Testament, the New Testament. Has been 2,000 years since anything new has been added to the Bible. Now, the advantage I have over those people back then is we have electronics, okay? We have microscopes, we have telescopes. They didn't have any of that stuff. And so they knew that all those pandemics back in those days and the 7 plagues that the Pharaoh suffered through to Moses to force him to let the Israelis go after 400 years of slavery. They knew that those plagues were caused by evil spirits because they didn't have a microscope to see the bugs. Okay. And they were walking from village to village to village, and the apostles would tell the story to 3 people. Now, when we're doing a Zoom here, are we talking to 50 people, 500 people, 5,000 people? I do radio interviews with some of the biggest talk show hosts in the world every month. They have 12 million people on there. So I'm speaking to 12 million people at one time, okay, because of these Zooms and various connections and radio interviews and things. And so each month, I will speak to probably 25 million people. Is that more than 3 in a village? Of course. And so this is the advantage we have, and you cannot deny the numbers and the facts. And again, go back and realize what a great job they did in the Old Testament, what a great job they did in the New Testament. But it's time, after 2,000 years, to come up with the Third Testament. And so I'm very excited about it. And we're going to give the good Lord God all the credit. But we're going to say, this is what he showed us to do. And because of the electronics, we can get this out to all of his people, and not just a handful by walking from village to village.
So looking at the big picture, Dr. Wallach, you are extending the history of what was put here for us to utilize as food to keep ourselves healthy. And
that is correct.
We're feeding the temple using what God has provided.
That is correct. These are not manufactured, man-made pharmaceuticals. Okay, the only pharmaceutical that actually cures anything, the only class of pharmaceuticals that cure anything is antibiotics. They can kill staphylococcus, streptococcus, syphilis, all that kind of stuff, right? But other than that, all other pharmaceuticals only treat the symptoms. And people are happy. Oh my God, I was in pain for 20 years. My doctor gave me this new opioid. And in 3 days' time, after 30 years of suffering and pain and misery and not being able to function, suddenly now I'm pain-free. I just love it. I'm going to leave everything in my will to my doctor. I just love him so much. And then 3 years later, they die because he didn't fix the problem. They just relieved the pain. Now, nothing wrong with relieving symptoms, okay? But don't think because you relieve the symptoms that you have dealt with the problem, okay? It's kind of like putting dirt from Texas into your car because there might be oil in it because it's dirt from Texas. No, you put oil in your car because you want to make sure that your Mercedes, okay, is in good shape for 300,000 miles. This is one of these things where you have to be as smart for yourself as you are for your car.
Right. Well, and to expound on that is we have to be as smart for ourselves as we are for our pets.
There you go.
I know a lot of people that spend hundreds of dollars a month to keep their animal healthy, but who's going to take care of the animal if you're not taking care of yourself?
That's correct.
So, and you had mentioned the blooming minerals and using that in gardening, but that can also be used for larger livestock too.
That's correct. You can use a cup of the blooming minerals per 100 pounds of, say, if you have a pony or a horse or something like that, or a calf or a pig or a llama. Okay, it's a cup full of the blooming minerals in their food for 100 pounds of body weight. And then in the smaller animals, pet animals like dogs and cats and wombats and rabbits and that sort of stuff, rats and hamsters, you use our use our Arthrodex crystals. Don't forget the EFAs. Got to put the EFAs in there so don't get blood clots and have those issues. And of course, one of the newest books we had out has been out about a year now. Is It's All in Your Head, goes into the 25 different diseases you can get from osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and the spinal cord that comes out of the back of the skull. Now, before we came out with that book, It's All in Your Head, nobody had ever heard of osteoporosis of the skull. Now you think about that. If you get osteoporosis in your vertebrae, you get osteoporosis in your hips and your leg bones and your shoulders and so forth, your hands, your fingers, and you get osteoporosis of the skull, you get everything from dental issues because the bone's going away in your face, your jaw, okay? And even teenagers, why do they have to go to an orthodontist? Well, because they have osteoporosis of the skull already as a teenager and their teeth are floating around. bunching up in one place or turning upside down or falling out or whatever. And so they go to an orthodontist to put braces in their mouth. But do they give them any vitamins and minerals? No, they just put braces in their mouth. And so by the time they're in their 20s and 30s, they still have to pull some teeth and put dentures in and implants and all this kind of stuff because they've osteoporosis of the skull. And then I won wagers with a doctor who, this is a very famous story because this was in Salt Lake City, Utah. And after my speech, the first question was, my mom is 70 years old and she's been blind for 6 years from macular degeneration. Anything to do for her? I say, yeah, I can reverse that. Guy jumps up in the back room and he says, who in the hell are you? Wallach. I said, well, who in the hell are you? He said, well, I'm an eye doctor and I diagnose people who are blind with macular degeneration all the time. And there's no way you can reverse that. So let's have a wager. To make a long story short, I got 27 charts from him. He picked them, so he couldn't say the diagnosis was bad. He picked them. They were blind, 27 of them. They were blind 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years. Okay. And he diagnosed them as macular degeneration. I put them on the 90 essential nutrients. To make a long story short, I had to talk to each one of them and give them paper with the formula because I didn't trust him to pass it on to them. And so to make a long story short, in 90 days, all 27, their vision came back after being blind 6, 8, 10, 12 years. It freaked him out, but he had to pay the price because he lost the wager. He had to pay for all their supplements. He had to buy me a nice, big, expensive bottle of red wine from France, take me out to Ruth Chris's steakhouse for a nice dinner. And then, of course, I wrote a letter, which he had to duplicate and pass out every weekend at a stop sign in his town in Salt Lake City for like a year, every weekend. Okay, had to pass him out saying, I'm a fool because I made a wrong diagnosis in all these people. And Wallach was right.
Oh, goodness, Dr. Wallach. It's amazing. You said that there's 27 different diseases that are related to osteoporosis of the skull, but you found over 900 diseases that are caused by nutrient deficiency?
There's over 600, yeah. And it could be 900, but at
Over
least
600.
600, over 600 different
I'm
diseases.
dyslexic
Yeah,
sometimes.
that are caused by nutritional deficiencies. Yeah. And it could be 900. And that's where we keep looking because, again, the medical profession doesn't give up easily because people love them for reducing their symptoms. Okay. And doctors make their living by having you come back every month to get re-examined. They do another test and check your levels and all this kind of stuff. They check your A1C, if you have diabetes, and they want you to get down below 7, really should be below 4. We take people they've been, their A1C has been above 15 and runs 15 to 19 for 20 years. And just after like 1 or 2 months on our program, their A1C goes down to 4. We take people who have been a diabetic for 30 years and 30 days it's gone. We take people who have been on dialysis 6 days a week because they haven't urinated in 10 years. They're on dialysis for 3 days a week for over 25 years because they didn't want to get a kidney transplant. And in 2 weeks' time, they're urinating. So they drop them down after 10 years from 6 times a week on dialysis to 3 times a week. And in 2 more weeks, they totally get off their dialysis just by giving them the 90 essential nutrients and throwing in what was needed to get the blood flow into the kidney proper. And of course, all the other diseases they had, such as diabetes and high blood pressure, all those things went away too. We do this tens of thousands of times a day in 50 countries around the world. And that's why we came up with the title of the book coming out. It's the Third Testament. And of course, throughout the book, we give God all the credit.
So, Dr. Wallach, people get results fast, but it's like putting all gas in your car and maintaining your car. You quit doing it, your body's going to go back to where you were.
Yeah, you have to stay on the diet. You have to stay on the diet forever. How long do you need oxygen, Rebecca?
Every second of the day.
Well, how long do you need water, Rebecca?
Well, they say you can go 4 days without water.
No, you can't. No. You need it for your whole life, okay? And so it's one of those.
Here, Dr. Wallach.
And so, how long can you live without the 90 essential nutrients? Well, maybe
There's a,
for a couple of months, maybe for a couple of years, but it's going to get you. You're going to be sick in the meantime. And then one morning you're going to wake up dead.
and I tell you what, there's a huge difference between barely surviving and thriving,
Hmm.
not only physically, but mentally. I mean, I can't believe, yes, I've had some amazing physical improvements, but the mental also, because I don't have all that pain and stress dragging me down mentally. It's been incredible. I can't thank you enough.
Okay, so how old were you when you really started getting in trouble health-wise?
8.
You were
I
8.
had
You're
my
already,
first migraine at 8.
oh
I
my.
was diagnosed with scoliosis. So of course we know that was before, that happened before. And the doctor put me on coral calcium and told my mom, said, oh, just give her lots of calcium. I had a lower back injury where the lower 4 facets of my lumbar froze when I was at work.
Mm.
And that was just compounding. 30 years old, I broke my back. I got compression fractures in the thoracic spine. And, I had been dealing with the migraines. I had hurt my whole body. They wanted to do surgery when I was 16 to scrape the backs of my kneecaps because I had
Eek.
calcium overgrowth. So, Doc, when you see we can't absorb, just for 16 being on a calcium that was not plant-based, and I had calcium overgrowth and bone spurs throughout my body.
Absorption
I wasn't
problems.
absorbing.
Gluten alert. Gluten alert. Were you eating a breakfast of champions or Cheerios or oatmeal or what were you eating?
Oatmeal and cream of wheat were our
Well-
morning staples.
Well, there you go. That was in addition to not getting all the nutrients, whatever you were getting, you weren't efficiently absorbing because you're eating oatmeal and cream of wheat. Okay, and boy, that's a killer.
Yeah. If we only knew now what we knew then, or if we only knew then what we know now.
Yeah, but and doctors refuse to, what should I say, accept this. Well, people have been eating oatmeal forever. No, it was not in the Garden of Eden. And I went back and I really, really reviewed, the message from the good Lord. Okay, and it said when he established the Garden of Eden, eat only the seeds of the herbs growing in the Garden of Eden. Eat only the fruit from the trees that have seeds. Didn't say eat wheat. Didn't say eat oatmeal.
Yeah. Oh goodness, Dr. Wallach, so much that you have learned that you are now sharing with us. That I know I'm appreciative of it. I know there's over 70 people on this call with us that are appreciative of it and just looking to be a sponge and absorb the information that you are sharing with us.
Well, you are an angel of God, and so I appreciate you. You really, thank you for so much for sharing your testimony. All your stuff, your health issues started, you probably had troubles before 8, but it was clinically recognizable. So your mom and dad took you to a doctor when you were 8. But I'm sure you were having some little light flashes and alerts going on before 8. You just didn't wake up when you're 8 years old and suddenly now have a problem. So you probably had some issues going on that weren't at least clinically significant to your parents before that.
Oh, I'm sure. To be honest with you, I can't remember being without pain as a child.
Wow.
I mean, leg cramps were horrible.
Mm.
And not just leg. So in my feet and in my hands, I always ached.
Well, if you have pain in your hands, that means your skull is squeezing your spinal cord. Just like if you have pain in your feet, your lower back is squeezing the sciatic nerves going down into your feet. It's not a foot problem, it's a low back problem. Same way when you have stuff going in your hands, it's a neck problem caused by your skull squeezing your spinal cord. Even doctors don't know. Your spinal cord is formed in your brain, not in your back. Your spinal cord is formed in your brain, comes out of that big hole in the back of your skull called foramen magnum, which is Latin for big hole. But when you get osteoporosis of the skull, you go from your skull being normal, a quarter of an inch thick, to an inch thick. Okay, it used to be called Paget's disease. This guy Paget he thought it was a genetic thing, but really it's just a simple nutritional deficiency thing. So we've changed the name from Paget's disease to Wallach's disease because he missed it by 1,000 miles.
Wow. Well, and you bring up the pain in my hands. I mean, in my 20s as a statistician, I did a lot of data entry, and it was diagnosed with carpal tunnel. But I
it's
the
the
surgery.
skull.
I had too many people that had surgeries gone bad, and I'm glad that I did, because now I can type, I can do everything with absolutely no pain, no.
And you didn't have any surgery on your wrist.
And no surgery.
Yeah. Now,
No surgery.
again, it's one of those things where you take the nutrients and stay away from the bad stuff so you can absorb them. Things that you've had since you were 8 years old. And you and I have been working together for how many years now? 3?
Only 5.
Only 5 years? Yeah. And so in less than 5 years, you got rid of these 18 different diseases you've had all your life. Okay. And you don't have to worry about passing them on to your kids and grandkids and great grandkids, because they're not genetic. They're not autoimmune. They're just nutritional deficiencies. And of course, people who live under the bridge and eat dog food are better off than rich people who eat all the fancy stuff.
Well, I'm still going to stick with my steak and my eggs. And
well, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Salmon and all
I
that.
can't wait till tomorrow, because every Saturday night I get lamb chops. Woo!
All right. All right. Well, thank you everybody again for joining us with AskDocLive.com. I just want to welcome everybody. And with that welcome, I know that somehow you found out about this program. So whether it was from a friend, whether it was from an email, somehow I want you to get back with the way that you found out about this program. It was a friend especially, because that person loves you enough to share this information and wants you to take a look at another option. For those of you that have been doing the same thing for 15, 20 years and you're still in poor health, consider something different. Give us 90 days. Dr. Wallach is going to be taking some questions here in just a moment from people in the audience and answering those questions on what would be a nutritional approach to overcoming conditions that people are experiencing. It's like Dr. Wallach said, the only pharmaceutical that actually cures anything is an antibiotic. Everything else is chemically altering and putting a bandage over it, not addressing the root cause. So if you have questions and you're here with us live today, go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to be taking your questions. For those of you who hear something that you want to give a try, again, get with the person that invited you to this program. If there wasn't somebody specific, you can always go to AskDocLive.com. And we do have a store there. We also have all of the replays from all of our Ask Doc Live shows there for you to review, and also Dr. Wallach's most popular books. So it's like a one-stop shop where you can get your supplementation, you can get your literature, you can get your questions answered, and you can watch replays of past programs. So Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and take our first hand. And Shauna has her camera on and is ready. Shauna?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm right here.
Welcome.
Can you see me waving? I have just discovered you. I think I've known about you probably for 30 years, but I didn't realize it was you. I know that sounds weird, but my dad has a similar outlook on all this sort of thing as you do, and he's in his 80s. And he's been telling me about dead doctors don't lie for as long as I can remember.
Wow.
So I have been more or less aware of all this stuff, but I have just discovered you. And I have decided I'd like to treat my Heberden's nodes, you can see on my first joint.
Yes.
I saw a videotape on YouTube of somebody who was actually able to reverse this, and
Yes.
they don't hurt. They're just ugly. They hurt when they first start, but then I get accustomed to it. I have a broken finger here, which I think I can actually address as well. So I don't exactly know how to deal with it,
Okay.
because I
Well,
want to be
this is,
specific.
yeah, well, this is easy. This is very easy. Now, do you have any other things going on, like noise? You're walking, you get crunching in
Yes,
your,
I crackle and creak in my hips and my knees and my feet.
okay, okay,
It doesn't hurt. At times it's been very painful, but I started using things that I thought would help, like adding the K2 and magnesium oil sprayed onto right to the spots. But I'm making it up.
okay, okay. Well, you're trying. That's the main thing. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions here. Are you coloring your hair?
A little bit of bleach, but I don't color it.
Okay, but so you do have some whiter gray hair coming in.
I
Do you have any varicose veins
No.
or spider veins in your feet or legs?
So minuscule, just a little bit.
Okay, it's kind of like being a little bit pregnant, Yeah,
Okay, then yeah, but
Yes.
nobody would notice them because they're so
Okay,
subtle.
yeah, okay. Well, they always start someplace, right? And then, do you have any tinnitus, any ringing in the ears or balance problems?
No.
Okay, so you're wearing glasses like me. I was born with eye issues. My
These are
mom,
readers.
yeah, okay, now, but let me ask you some questions here. Are you having to change the prescription of your glasses every 6 months or every year or so?
Yeah.
Okay, now you have osteoporosis of the skull, just like you have osteoporosis of your vertebrae and your hands and all that kind of stuff. So here we go. How much do you weigh?
About 127, 130.
Okay.
Right in there.
Okay. And then how old are you, Shauna?
I'll be 59 in 2 weeks.
59. Congratulations. Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5.5".
Okay. So yeah, that's good. So you're slim. That's good. Okay. 2 things you need to do. Number 1, and this will be for the rest of your life. You'll add 25 to 50 health years to your life. You'll save yourself an enormous amount of unnecessary misery if you do what I say. Get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran rhinos, no sugar. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. The gluten in oats is called gliadin. And so you look down at the label on oats or things that have oats in them, and they'll give you all these names and the gliadin, blah, 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 and people say, well, I don't see any gluten in there, so I can eat it. No. Okay, the gluten in oats is called gliadin, so no oats either. Okay, and eating nitrate-free bacon doesn't count because there's 8 other chemicals in there. No processed meats of any kind, sausage and ham and all that stuff's got to go. And then no sugar. And then I want you to take at 100 and let's see here, at 130 pounds, 127 pounds, 130 pounds. I want you to take, let's see here, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Get another bottle of our selenium, because our selenium has 5 cofactors in there. Your hair color is going to come back. Those early spider veins are going to go away. And this, I want you to take 3 of our selenium twice a day. There's 1 bottle of selenium comes with the healthy brain and heart pack, but I want you to get another bottle of selenium by itself, so you can take 3 twice a day, or 2, 3 times a day, whichever easier for you. And it's going to give you the nutrients necessary to deal with these things. Then I want you to also take our MSM, get 1 bottle a month, take 3 of those twice a day or 2, 3 times a day for a total of 6. And they will help you support and promote maintenance and repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone, makes bone cell. The first thing you're going to notice is all the creaking and cracking and noise is going to go away. That'll happen in 2 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Even though you've had that your whole life almost, okay? Then also the swelling and the size of these knuckles and fingers will begin to go down. Okay. I also want you to take our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. Take 3 twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. So you can absorb the minerals, particularly calcium. And just taking calcium isn't enough. You have to be able to absorb it and put it in all the right places. And because you have so many pre-existing conditions here, I worry about your bone marrow not being able to make enough white blood cells and red blood cells and platelets and antibodies to protect you from the virus. Okay.
I'm doing pretty good with that, I have to say. I took like 40,000 units of vitamin D a day when my daughter got it, and I was taking care of her. I was taking liquid zinc under my tongue. I was taking
Mhm.
quercetin along with it, and I was taking melatonin, and just like upped everything while I was taking care of a sick kid. And I was breathing her
Whoa,
bad breath and
whoa.
everything, and then I didn't get sick.
Okay, well,
So,
see, you were thinking correctly. You knew you needed something to help your immune system and help your body heal
yep.
itself, but you were only giving yourself 6 of the things you needed instead
I
of
think there were
90.
more I added, but that was the main ones. But
Yeah. Okay. But you know, it wasn't a complete program.
no,
And plus you weren't giving up the bad foods yet. I mean, really seriously.
no.
Okay. Okay. I mean, even the dog and the cat and the bird and the fish, you got to get rid of all that stuff. Okay. In their food. So you're not getting cross-contaminated in the laundry, the food preparation surfaces, on the couch and the bed and the rugs and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then I want you also to take our colloidal silver. I've been doing it for 25 years. Put 2 droppers full under your tongue, one on one side, one on the other side, half hour before each meal, half hour before bedtime. I've been doing it for 25 years, Shauna. Okay.
Wow.
And so I'm 82 years old, don't have any of these pre-existing conditions of any kind. And so the odds of me getting a fatal infection with coronavirus is 0.
Mhm.
Okay. Even at my age. Okay. Because I've been dealing with it since I was 9 years old. And so everybody can jump in and say, well, it's too late for me. No, it's never too late. But you need to jump in with both feet, really get serious about this. Well, I mean, come on, it can't hurt you just have one bowl of oatmeal for breakfast once a week. No, don't do that. It's like just shooting yourself in the head once in a while and thinking it's okay. But give us a call every couple of weeks, because your story at your age, okay, you're sort of middle age, okay, and you say you're 59, was that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're middle age, and you know you carry it well, you look well, you're grooming yourself, but you're going to look 20 years younger. Okay.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, now I want you to look at Rebecca, and Rebecca should actually, you should have one of your pictures from say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and show your picture from 15, 20 years ago. And now, you know, she looks like she's 30 years old. Okay. And she's been doing this, gosh, for how long, Rebecca?
Only 5 years.
Only 5 years. And so
And I
she's
turn
lost.
50 next 50.
y-
I'm already 50 according to, you know,
According to the
when I
calendar.
began. But according to the birth calendar, I turn 50 next month.
Well, there you go. But see, you only look like you're 25 to 30.
And I only feel that way too, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Shauna. And let's hear from you every couple of weeks, because your testimony will help a lot of our listeners and viewers. Okay. Back to you, Rebecca.
All right, Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to the next hand. Lou, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, it worked.
Hey.
Hi, Dr.
You're on
Wallach.
time.
Hi.
I am, well, first of all, 92 years old. So
Okay.
you have to take it easy with me.
Okay.
And I weigh 113 pounds, down from 120 since I've been on doing the rice thing.
Okay.
And I'm 5'5.5" and down from 5'6".
Okay. So you shrunk a little bit. Okay.
Yes,
All
or
right.
5'6" and 3/4 actually. Yes.
Yeah. See, now, you've been on our program for how long now?
Well, I started with vitamins, or the supplements, November of 2019, so like a year and a half. But the food thing has been a problem for me, trying to do the correct thing.
Okay. We're eating like an Asian, eating rice instead of wheat.
Well, yes, I have been doing that. In fact, as far as my problems, it's most everything related to osteoporosis of the skull.
Mhm.
And I have your book, a couple of your books and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of familiar with some of this. But
Okay. Now, did you have ringing in the ears? Did you have tinnitus?
not so much. I would say no.
Okay. Did you have any balance problems?
Some,
Okay.
yes.
Did you have any heart rate problems, AFib or tachycardia or anything like that?
No, but I am taking your little cardiac or whatever it is pill.
The ultimate daily classic in the green
Yes.
label. Yeah.
I'm
Good.
taking all those.
Okay. Good girl. So how can I help you today? Thank you so much for the testimony. You look beautiful.
Okay, oh, thank you. Well, as I said, about everything related to osteoporosis of the skull, but mainly I will mention a couple things. The hiccuping and burping. I don't know if it's all the same. I do both.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
hiccuping. Yeah, hiccuping and burping, both of those are caused by squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve. The burping is caused by what's called gastroparesis. It could be pain and burping and belching and bloating in the stomach, because that vagus nerve goes all the way down to the stomach. And doctors will say, well, you might have an ulcer, and they'll take your stomach out, and they look at it, oh, they didn't have an ulcer. Why do they have so much pain? Well, squeezing that 10th cranial nerve. And there's a branch of that 10th cranial nerve called the recurrent nerve, which goes to your diaphragm and causes hiccuping, and also a dry, unproductive cough called COPD. Okay, those, and you see you're nodding your head, yes. So your doctors can diagnose those things, but he never attributes them to osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve. And everybody who wants to live to be well beyond 100, be a super centenarian, live to be 110, 120, 140, 150, you need to get a hold of, at least the book Epigenetics and the CD's Epigenetics. If you're a person of color, you need to also get the books Black Gene Lies and CD Black Gene Lies. You also need to get a hold of the book and the CD Hell's Kitchen. You also need to get a hold of the book called It's All in Your Head, and deal with these 25 different diseases you can get from osteoporosis of the skull. So you have about 3 or 4 of them, which is not unusual. Okay. So what about your vision? Are you slowly losing your vision?
Well, I had cataracts removed like 20 some years ago, and no, I'm staying pretty well the same. Okay,
good. Excellent. Okay, so yeah, just be sure you're adding the MSM. Your body weight, let's see, I said 113 pounds. I want you to get 1 bottle of MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, including in the skull, and also in your bone marrow. So you're making plenty of white blood cells and antibodies and all that kind of stuff to protect you from this COVID thing, because you're at that age where age is a negative when it comes to susceptibility to this pandemic virus. Okay. And so you really, really, really need to stay on the Asian diet. No wheat, brown, and oats, live on rice and sweet potatoes, which I've been doing for 73 years. And when you compare an Asian country with a state or another country that deals with wheat, brown, and oats, you look at, again, Thailand, okay, and the UK, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, both of them, the UK and Thailand have 67 million people, and the UK has 4.3 million infections and 127,000 dead, and Thailand has 95 dead and 29,000 infections. A huge difference. Well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is the Thais live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash, but they also eat seaweed and algae and, sea moss and all that kind of stuff. They're getting all these weird trace minerals, which makes their bone marrow happy, that can make all the white blood cells, their immune system, and red blood cells and antibodies. So they're getting everything they need to, and I'm sure these 95 people that died and the 29,000 infections, if we were to go interview them, they might be living around a US naval base or living in a big city where they have a restaurant, maybe working in a restaurant where they get food that's designed to attract European and North American visitors, and also the military personnel. So they have a lot of wheat stuff in there. And so it'd be very interesting to note if the ones who died, the 95 who died in Thailand, were they eating the typical Thai diet, or were they really eating a sort of a mixed diet with Western style foods as well as the thing, or were they 100% Western style foods? Well, there you go. Somebody's dialing your door or your phone.
No, that's my clock. You heard that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, see, I have good hearing. I can hear you from 1,000 miles away.
Well, I wish mine were that good. I have, as I said, I have a list of like 20 things, but I didn't go through all of them. You probably know what they are.
Yes, we'll just check them. We'll just check them every 2 weeks and make a list of which ones are getting better, and then contact us like every couple of weeks and let us know, because your testimony, at your age is going to be a beautiful thing, to share 93 years old, and you have 23 different symptoms and diseases. And so you add that MSM, add the vitamin D3, add the glucogel. Okay, it could be the liquid or the pills. Don't forget our college. Go ahead.
I don't know how many to take. Do I just take what says on the bottle?
Well, basically, basically what I want you to do at 113 pounds is you could take 3 or 4 of the glucogel capsules twice a day. Okay. In the middle of the day at noon, I want you to take the Pro Joint FX or the collagen peptides, a dose of that. But don't forget the MSM. I want you to take 3 of those twice a day or 2, 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. And that's the raw materials necessary to rebuild disc, and you've shrunk a ½ inch or so. So your discs are shrinking. And so also it helps rebuild the bone matrix, including your skull, MSM, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix. And at your age, if people aren't taking the proper supplements and they're eating gluten, their bone marrow is going to die. And that's why they have to go to the doctor once a month or so to get an iron shot and a B12 shot. Are you getting an iron shot and a B12 shot from your doctor?
No.
Okay, good. So your bone marrow is still functioning, and that's why you're still going strong and still alive. And so just keep, doing what you're doing, plus add the stuff we just talked about, and contact us every couple of weeks, because people who are over 80 years old are going to hear your story, because they like to say, oh, did you hear about Lou? Boy, she is doing great. She just is a great model for us. And if we do, she does, we can be as good looking as she is and as good a shape as she is, because her hair color all came back and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, it's getting darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to look 20 years younger here in about 3 months.
That's all I need. I have one question about the Ocean's Gold. I was thinking that, but I also am on the thyroid pill. In fact, I had a hair analysis done, and maybe you didn't get the report. I thought maybe you would. Okay.
Well, they do thousands of them, so I only get them if they send them to me specifically.
Well, I thought they were, but whatever. Would it be helpful if you did see it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So can you tell me what anyway, the Ocean's
Well,
Gold,
what you want to do is get it to Rebecca, and she'll get it to me.
I don't know how to contact Rebecca, but anyway.
We'll get it to Nasima, and she'll get it to me.
So you can,
the Ocean's Gold, I'm on a thyroid pill, and I was taking Ocean's Gold, and all of a sudden I started itching. My legs really started itching, and I just read the directions and said that was one of the problems with too much thyroid. So
cut back on your thyroid medication.
Pardon?
Cut back on your thyroid medication. Don't cold turkey off of it. Just cut it in half.
Is that okay?
Well, do you still have your thyroid gland?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, the Ocean's Gold will give your thyroid gland what it needs. And don't forget, wouldn't hurt to throw in the Fucoid Z capsules, which has all that seaweed and all that kind of stuff. Take 3 of those twice a day. Now, if you prefer the liquid, we have the Z Radical. You could take a tablespoon of that twice a day. It's 1 quart a month. I take both the Ocean's Gold and the Fucoid Z capsules. I take 3 of each of those twice a day. And as long as you have your thyroid gland, after, you take your supplements, your thyroid gland is very happy. Okay. And so you can gradually over a period of months, reduce and eliminate your medication, because once you give your thyroid gland everything it needs and you avoid the wheat, bread, and oats, so you can absorb it, you don't need the thyroid medication.
Well, that'd be wonderful. Well, thank you very much. And so, okay, in a couple of weeks, I'll get back to you.
Okay, dear. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing. We love you. God bless you.
Well, thank you. And I love you too. You know what? I first heard of you in the 1990s, and then I lost track of you. And so anyway, here we are.
Here we are. Thank you, dear.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
Okay.
all right. Thank you, Lou. And Lou, get with the person that introduced you to longevity. They will be able to help you get in contact with Dr. Wallach as well. So we are at the top of the hour, Dr. Wallach. We need to take a quick break. So everybody stay tuned. And like I said, get with the person that invited you to this program, that introduced longevity to you, if you have any questions. Now, if nobody has introduced you to longevity and you received an email, you can reply back to that email. We do have a group of certified holistic health coaches who are there available to answer those questions. We do get a high volume of emails, so I appreciate your patience in getting a response. But also go to ask.live.com, contact us. There is an option there. So we're going to take a quick 5 minutes. Don't go away. Well, get up, stretch, get some bodily fluids moving, and we'll be right back. All right. So glad everybody, it looks like a lot of people got up and stretching and moving around. So Dr. Wallach will be right back with us in just a moment. And again, get with the person that invited you to this program. They have additional information to share with you as far as ordering, as far as helping you figure out exactly what's right for you for supplementation. So you are not on this journey alone. Where earlier I'd mentioned that, we make this available to millions. Well, worldwide, last I checked, there's only 75,000 different distributors worldwide. So it's definitely not a saturated market. So if you ever thought of sharing this message and sharing the supplementation with others and help them regain their health, reach out to the person that shared the program with you, that shared longevity with you. They would love to share more information with you about that as well. So as soon as Dr. Wallach is ready, I'm going to go ahead and get him unmuted, and we are going to move on to the next questions.
Hello,
All right, you are ready.
I'm back.
You're back. So let's go to our next hand up, and our next hand is Paulette. Paulette, let me go ahead and ask you to unmute.
Paula,
There
okay.
you go.
Hi, Doc.
Paulette.
Hey,
Can you
Paula,
hear-
where are you? Yes, where are you from?
I'm from Alberta, Canada.
Okay, a Chinook.
No, we had snow, but it's all gone.
Okay, how old are you?
Doc Wallach, I'm 61 and I'm 5'2" on a good day. And I'm 180 pounds now. I've also lost 50 pounds since last September.
Wow,
And if I can say something first,
sure.
is we so appreciate you.
Well, you're very
It's such a
kind.
heart, because, my husband and I heard of you back when we were trucking in 2000.
Wow.
When we were trucking, we'd truck in the wee hours of the night, and we'd listen to you on George Norrie, coast to
Yeah,
coast.
there you go. I'm
Isn't
still
that-
doing George Norrie coast to coast. Yeah.
I know, and I just love it. We absolutely just think you're the best.
Well,
Things.
thank you so much. How can I help you today?
Well, I've been on your products since January, full steam ahead. And what we've noticed, what I'd like to do is just to tweak up certain parts of my protocol that I have with you. We are totally off the wheat, barley, oats, and rye, no oils. I do more of a carnivore way of eating with the eggs and my ducks and duck eggs and duck fat and all that good stuff, because we live on a farm, on a small farm. And so it's more to tweak up the items that I am already taking, which is because I have a macular condition that apparently they're saying is turning into a Sorsby dystrophy. I've kept it at bay for at least 11, 12 years now, the macular.
Okay.
After.
Okay, now,
and the-
now the Sorsby's dystrophy, you're talking about the back of the eye, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I just want to interrupt there for our listeners, okay, and viewers. This is osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the optic nerve, and also that artery that goes from the brain through the optic nerve to the back of the eye, and also the veins coming back from the eye through the optic nerve back into the brain. And so you get hemorrhages and swelling and all that kind of stuff in the back of the eye. And this is always due to the osteoporosis of the skull. Because when you get osteoporosis, whether it's your vertebrae or your leg bone or your hip or your skull, the bones always get bigger. It's called bone matrix. It's kind of like tendon-like material trying to call more minerals in. So it gets bigger. Say, hey, come to me, come to me. And so as it gets bigger, those tunnels that those nerves are going through begin to fill up. And so the skull is squeezing that optic nerve. I have to ask you a question here, then I'll turn it back to you. Do you have any tinnitus or ringing in the ears or any balance problems?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, well, the Soares bees is very, very common, very common. So, go on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I used to get those needle injections back in 2012, and I stopped all that because they had done a bad job. They thought
Well, they
I
were
had
just
that, right?
they're treating the symptoms with cortisone or prednisone or something like that, and in the long run, that only made it worse.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
because it pulled more minerals out of the bones when you take cortisone and prednisone for extended periods of time. So, what else do you have going on so I can, adjust your formula a little bit?
I have a sore neck, the back of the neck, and I do take the CM cream, which is wonderful, by the way, absolutely awesome. But when I go see the chiropractor, he's trying to tweak up that lump that I have. And plus, I'm also changing in weight, right? Lots of
Okay.
loss.
Okay, well, stop there,
There's
stop
things-
there, stop there. Okay, I'm gonna, at 180 pounds, I want to give you kind of what you should be getting because we have all these listeners and they don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to tell them what you should be doing. And probably 90% of it you're already doing, right?
Yeah.
So at 180 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose everything twice a day, healthy brain and heart pack. Each healthy brain and heart pack has 215 nutrients in it, as the 90 plus another 115 nutrients, okay? And then I also want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose everything twice a day. None of the bad foods, no fried food, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran, no sugar. And then I also want you to take 2 bottles a month of our MSM. I want you to take 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, including in the neck, bone matrix in the skull, as well as all your other bones. And then I want you to take our vitamin D3, especially in Canada. I want you to take our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month, so you can absorb the minerals and put them in your bones in the right places. I also want you to take our collagen. Okay, get 2 bottles of our glucogel capsules, take 5 of those twice a day. I do that, and I only weigh 142 pounds. And then in the middle of the day at lunchtime, I want you to take our Pro Joint FX, take 3 of those in the middle of the day, or our collagen peptides, which is a powder you can put in your drinks or your soup or your stew or whatever. And let's see here. Also for anti-inflammatory and supporting your immune system and all that kind of stuff in your bone marrow, I want you to take 3 capsules twice a day of our Fucoid Z. Okay, it's all the seaweed and all that kind of stuff from one ocean. And then I want you to take 3 twice a day of our Ocean's Gold twice a day. That's from the other ocean. So you're getting all these different minerals and everything, which is going to make your bone marrow happy to protect you from this COVID virus, because I know the COVID virus is, wreaking havoc up in Canada, just like it is everywhere else. Oh yeah, Canadians never admit to nothing. Oh yeah, we're fine. Yeah, right.
You're fine. Just like the-
Okay. Yeah, but eat like an Asian. No wheat, butter, and oats. I know Canada's a big wheat, butter, and oats country, but you gotta live like an Asian.
Yep.
Okay, rice, sweet potatoes, beans, squash, and the seaweed, which comes in the Fucoid Z and the Ocean's Gold. Okay. Anything else we have to deal with before we move on?
No, inflammatory, inflammation.
Okay. Well, the Fucoid Z, yeah, the Fucoid Z is going to deal with that internally. And of course, you're using the CM cream topically. That's going to deal with it from the outside. And so, give us a call every couple of weeks. And because at your age, you're in the middle age. And so many people all over the world, our age, middle age, they want to hear what's going on and they want to know, gosh, did Paula really get some benefit from all this? And so, give them a report, give them a testimony. and you're going to help save thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of people.
I forgot one question. Because
Sure.
I'm at stage of, I have the odd hot flash now, hot flashes,
Mhm.
where I didn't before because I did cut out. I am on Xerafem once a day. And
Do it
then,
twice a day.
well, I do it once a day because I'm trying to find out, and that's one of the main reasons why I called. I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you. I cut out the estradiol and the progesterone from my.
Well, you shouldn't do it cold turkey.
No,
You
I
should do
didn't.
it- Okay, good. You should do it over a couple of months.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I did
good.
that. And so I thought to wean myself off of that, but my numbers, my blood work numbers are still at 0. Now they're even worse yet. So should I tweak up with something, or is there maybe an infection going
No,
on?
no. You should just go with the Xerafem. Okay, go 3 twice a day because you're a big girl, 180 pounds. I'd go
Yeah.
3 twice a day of the Xerafem. I do 3 twice a day of the Xeraf test. Okay, and I'm 82 years old and I don't have any hot flashes or anything like that.
You're a guy, you wouldn't have. You got to tell.
Shh. Okay, call us every couple of weeks here. Thank you so much for your
All
story.
right. Thanks,
Okay.
Doc. Well, it was a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Keep on trucking.
I think they're retired now, but yes, thank you, Paulette, for jumping on, and thank you, Dr. Wallach, for all of the great information that you just supplied there. Now I have a question. You had recommended to her the Fucoid Z. We have another Fucoid product, Z Radical.
Mhm.
So are they?
Well, the Z radical is the same formula as Fucoid Z. One's just a liquid, one's a capsule. Now I use the capsules because I fly so much and the quarts weigh a lot. And so I'd have to take 4 quarts with me when I'm on the road for say a month or something like that. And so I just take the bottles because the capsules are very light. And so, but when you look at what's in them, they're exactly the same.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, on that clarification. Now we all have a question in the comments that goes back to the colloidal silver
Mhm.
and wants to know if there's a specific reason why you mentioned taking it 30 minutes before a meal. And if we forget to take it or 30 minutes before a meal, we still take it and when? And is after a meal okay? Or is with a meal okay? What's best? So I know 30 minutes before, because that's what you always say is best.
Yes. Now, the
Right.
reason is I want you to absorb it before you put food in your mouth. Okay, that way you're going to get 99.9% of it. If you're eating and you have food in your mouth, you have food in your stomach, and you put those just little drops in your mouth, you have food and particles and all that kind of stuff is going to absorb some of it. And so you're not going to get 100% absorption. But when you put it in before meals, you're going to get 99.9999% absorption. And again, I've been doing it for 25 years. And, I don't look too bad for, an 8-year-old guy.
No, you don't. And it is hard to keep up with you when we're at convention and everything. Yep, colloidal silver. I've got it. I've got my bottle right here as well.
And
Awesome.
don't forget the hand
Well,
sanitizer.
Rebecca,
that's
can I just interject
Go
and
ahead.
ask one thing while you're on colloidal silver? Doc, many
Yes.
have concerns that they will change the color of their skin and it'll become gray and bluish and then it's irreversible. Can you speak to that and why our colloidal silver will not do that?
Okay, you have to appreciate that doctors will tell you that because they want to keep running prescriptions for penicillin. Okay, I've been taking it for 25 years and I don't have any blue or silver or gray skin. Okay, I've been doing it for 25 years, 4 times a day. So I would say that that's crample of science because the doctors want you to keep taking their prescriptions so they can pay for the tuition for their kid to go to college. Did it help you out?
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
Oh, I love that view.
All our beautiful Nasima.
A beautiful Nasima.
All right. Again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us with the Ask Doc live show. And we are here as a resource for you for information on alternatives. We're not here to take the place of your primary care physician. We do want you to work with your physician because as your body is in a mode of being able to absorb better because it's getting the nutrition that it needs, beginning to work with your doctor to start backing off on pharmaceuticals. For the fact that one, you're going to be absorbing better, and two, you're just not going to need them eventually on most things, right, Doc?
Yeah, and of course, some of you may want to say, well, let's do a three-way call with Doc Wallach and let's see if we can do a Zoom to all of your patients and get your patients going on this stuff. You're going to be called a miracle doctor if you follow what Dr. Wallach says and all your patients. So, you want to try and instead of not saying anything to them, see if you can't engage them to join us and become, another one of the gals or guys who pass on the message of health and longevity. Remember, when you put oil in your car, it lasts a lot longer. When you take the 90 essential nutrients, you'll last a lot longer. When you stay away from the bad foods, you'll last a lot longer. And so it comes down to, is oatmeal so important to you? Is a beer made from wheat more important to you than living 50 more years with your kids and grandkids? You make that decision, okay? But you have to make that decision. Myself, I'm going for a record. I know I'm going to hit a record when it comes to longevity. Super centenarians, you can, go to Siri and say, Siri, how many super centenarians are there in America? And super centenarians are people who are 110 years of age and older. It'll freak you out. There's hundreds of them. Okay. And so you just don't hear about it a lot because doctors don't want you to say, well, if you follow what they're following, you'll be 110 years old. You follow what I say, you won't live that long, but everybody wins.
Everybody but the person that checks out early, Dr.
Yeah,
Wallach.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to the next hand up. And Nikki, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Was that Mickey or Nikki?
Nikki.
Nikki, okay.
Nikki, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're live.
All right. I am 42 years old. I'm about 113 kilograms or 249 pounds.
You must be in Canada.
I am in London at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am 6'5", used to play professional basketball. So my main health concern is my high blood pressure, which has been around 150 to 170 over 106, around there.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I also have this just recently that's just started, this pulling and buzzing feeling in the back of my shoulders and neck up to my ears. It's just kind of like,
Yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull.
yeah. And I'm not sure if it's an underlying health concern or just anxiety, but I've never had anything like this. And it's just like constantly buzzing in the back of my head.
Yep. That's osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. Squeezing your spinal cord. That's why you have stuff going on in your arms and your hands. And of course, is squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve is why you're getting that buzzing and noise and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Now, do you have any skin issues, any eczema or dermatitis?
No.
Okay. Do you have any bowel issues? Constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease?
No.
Okay. You say high blood pressure, any diabetes?
I have diabetes in my family and
Well, it's
heart
not
disease.
genetic.
Oh, it's not genetic? Okay.
genetic.
Well, I don't know if I have it or not. Maybe I have it. I just don't know.
Well, it's very easy. You go to a pharmacy without a prescription, you can get a test strip for urine and a test strip for your blood.
Okay.
That costs you $1.50 for a test strip. And the urine one's an easy one to start. You just pee on it and it'll
Yeah.
turn a color. Just hold it up to the label on the bottle. You don't even need to be able to read anything. Okay. The color change on that test strip when you urinate on it will
Okay.
tell you if you have diabetes or not. In some cases where you're kind of pre-diabetic, you do want to stick your finger. You get the little lancets, get a little bottle of those, get a bottle of 3 of the test strips from the pharmacy without a prescription. You'll save yourself a lot of money, time, and aggravation and exposure to sick people by not going to the doctor. You can do these things yourself. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. 249 pounds and you're 6 foot,
5.
6'5".
oh yeah, here we are, 6'5". I have so many scribblings on here. Okay, 6'5", 249 pounds. Ideal with basketball players all the time, professional, also the collegiate and university, Olympic basketball players, boxers, football players, soccer players, and so forth. And so I deal probably with thousands of athletes every hour throughout the world because I deal with all these joints and back and neck and arms and legs and things. Okay, so here we go. 6'5", 249 pounds. You know, you can be very trim. That's good. And so what I want you to do, Nikki, is get rid of all the bad foods. I want you to live like an Asian, live on rice and sweet potatoes and squash and beans and seaweed, and stay away from wheat, bread, and oats. If you're going to drink beer, that's okay, but it's got to be rice beer from either Japan or China or Australia, New Zealand. Okay. I don't know whether in England, if they have a brewery that makes rice beer, but I know they sell it from Australia and New Zealand there because they sell it here. Okay. And then I want you to 249 pounds. Let's be conservative. Go with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. We deal a lot with people from the UK. So we sell a lot there. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose thing twice a day. And because of the high blood pressure issue, I want you to take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles a month. And they will support healthy blood pressure very quickly. Within weeks, your blood pressure could be normal. Okay, but certainly weeks or a month or so. But you got to get rid of the bad stuff. You got to get rid of all the wheat, bread, and oats and sugar and that kind of stuff so you can absorb it. And this will be for life. And then I also, because you have the skull issue, I want you to take our MSM, get 2 bottles of our MSM, so you can take 3 of those with each meal. And they will support and promote maintenance and repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself. And then don't forget, you know, foggy London. You want to take our vitamin D3, take 3 of those 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles a month. And then don't forget our Rebound. It comes in 12-ounce cans. It also comes in these little sticks. I probably should wave one here. It's 30 in a box, and you can put the a stick in, you know, tear the top off and put the powder in a bottle of water. And so I take the sticks with me when I'm on the airplanes, as they don't weigh much, but I drink the cans at home, and so forth. But I deal a lot with professional Olympic and university basketball players because of all their joints and so forth. Theo Ratliff, he lost his contract with the Atlanta Hawks. You may remember his name, Theo Ratliff.
Yeah,
when he was 24 years old. Yeah. And that was a big story. And so I came up with the Rebound sports drink for him and our healthy bone and joint pack for him. Within 30 days, he gets his contract back for $30 million. He played, he's only 24 years old. He had bone arthritis in his knees and his hips. He fractured his shooting arm wrist. And he played for 11 more years. He made $100 million. And he said, well, you want 10% of my contract, Wallach? I said, no, sir, you keep all your money, but I do want to be able to tell your story and have your picture on a Rebound without having to pay your royalty. He says, you're on. Okay. So that's how we got involved with Theo Ratliff. But we do this with every kind of athlete you can think of: soccer, rugby, football, basketball, boxing, runners, of all kinds, dashes, long distance runners, and so on, weightlifters. Okay, so you're going to have a great story to tell, Nikki, and so I really appreciate it. So, are you an American in London, or?
Yeah, I'm an American in London.
Yeah.
And I have one other thing. Last week, I was leaning kind of sideways on my couch. We had a family vacation, and I had the computer set up on a table, and I was leaning sideways on my couch with my right elbow propped up. And I think that's pinched a nerve on the right side, because now I have this kind of shooting numbness going down my right side and a little nerve.
Again, it could be osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord.
Right.
Okay. And so this is all going to help, but you can use that CM cream on that. That'll help you lower the awareness of something going on there. But the odds are it's the spinal cord squeezing the neck, the spinal cord. Okay. And does that neck nerve, does that go down into your arm?
It goes down into my arm and into my thumb. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's the spinal cord being squeezed by your skull. That'll go away very quickly within a couple of weeks or a month, certainly. And so you're going to be a great testimony. So please do contact us, whether you're in England or New York. Or, you don't have a New York accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we have some, in fact, we have a basketball player there. She was NCAA All-American,
Okay,
Kelly Herron.
okay,
Okay, and she had stuff going on with a rotator cuff in her shooting arm. I
Yeah.
rebuilt her and she came back and played for 2 more years before she, went into coaching and that kind of stuff.
yeah, okay. That's
So there's a
great.
lot of
That's great.
basketball players come from
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've got some
Thank
good
you so
players.
much. God
Thanks.
bless you, sir. You bet.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, that's a great story.
Yes, thank you so much, Nikki, and safe travels as you are abroad. Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next question. And the question is coming from Florence. She had a baby last year, gained over 30 kilos since
It's about
her-
70 pounds.
since-
So what does she weigh?
since pregnancy. She doesn't give an exact amount of what she weighs now. But she's been working out and she's only lost 7 of those kilos. She's 38 years old. She's the mother of 3, and she wants to urgently lose 27 kilos.
Oh, fast. Okay, so
So-
50, 60 pounds. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what she needs to do is get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, brown oats, you know the drill, that kind of stuff. And then we don't know how much she weighs, right? But we do know she wants to lose 27 kilos. She wants to lose 50 pounds. So she's got to be a big girl. So I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Let's start there. I also want her to start out with 1 meal a day on our keto caramel diet. She could take the bar, which you just take the wrapper off and eat it as a meal. It doesn't have to be the same meal every day. One day could be breakfast, 2 days in a row could be lunch, and then dinner, and then breakfast again. And then after a month, 1 keto meal a day, go to 2 meals a day for say 2 or 3 days and see how that works for her. And she can lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day on this. But if she has joint problems, she needs to throw in the MSM and the collagen, okay, or glucogel and vitamin D3. If she has high blood pressure and if she needs to throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. If she has diabetes, she needs to throw in the sweeties. So, she's not telling us the whole story here. If you gain that much weight, there's bound to be other pre-existing conditions.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And next, Uchi is writing in about a friend who is 56 years old, weighs 58 kilograms, is 5.3 meters tall. She's asking what she can use to stop hot flashes because in the night, as she turns from one side to the other, the whole body and pillow and bed are just filled with sweat and water.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. At 120 pounds, did you say, or 120 kilos?
She's 58 kilograms.
58 kilograms. So 120 pounds. Okay. So I want her to take, she got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown oats, no sugar. And then at 120 pounds or so, I want her to take 2 of the healthy brain and heart, let me back up. 1 of the healthy brain and heart packs per month. Get another bottle of R-selenium. Okay, so if she's talking about kilos, she's got to be from Canada or Europe or something like that. But she needs another bottle of R-selenium, so she can take 3 of those twice a day. 1 comes with the healthy brain and heart pack. I also, because of the hot flashes, want her to get 2 bottles of our Xerafem, so she can take 3 of those twice a day. She needs to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count. Fried eggs will give you cancer. Okay. And then I also, 56 years old, I want her to also take the MSM, take 1 bottle a month, so she can take 3 of those twice a day, support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, ring spot cell. She needs vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And then don't forget the collagen. She can get 1 or 2 bottles of the glucogel per month and then take 4 or 5 of those twice a day of the glucogel. And then, call us every couple of weeks and let us know how the hot flashes are going.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. And again, everybody, I know Dr. Wallach speaks quickly. He got this down just to a T. Go back and check out our replays. You'll be able to re-listen to what Dr. Wallach is recommending, stop, write it down, and be able to get the exact protocol that's needed based on the conditions that are shared today. and again, that's at ask.life.com. Now, for those of you who have never spoken with anybody, you weren't referred by anybody specific, we do have a call team that's standing by. That number is 855-949-7234. So again, 855-949-7234 for the call team. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's go to George, who has been with us with his hand up patiently. George, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi
You are
there.
live with Dr. Wallach.
Hey,
Hi,
George.
nice to finally talk to you. I've actually heard you a few times over on Coast to Coast FM or AM.
Sure. Yeah, George
So,
is the greatest.
Yeah. So and he shares a wonderful first name as mine. So so I will be 55 in June.
Okay.
I am about 240-ish pounds, 42, 43, something like that. It varies between 240 and 243.
Yeah. How tall are you?
5 foot, just under 5'9", 5'8 3/4", something like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I don't have necessarily a lot of pre-existing conditions. I think, despite my weight, I'm actually in pretty good health.
Well, I want to stop you there for a minute. You got some early red warning lights on here. You got gray or white in your beard and your hair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any varicose veins or hemorrhoids or spider veins in your legs? Or
varicose veins, no. Hemorrhoids, yes.
okay. No, hemorrhoids are just varicose veins in a funny place. Okay.
Yes.
Now they're caused by the same deficiency that causes gray hair in your beard and your hair.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. That is not aging. That is a
Okay.
deficiency. That is a red warning
Okay.
light. Your red warning light on your dashboard is blinking right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
A guy by the name of Michael Jackson died at age 51 from a ruptured aortic aneurysm. Now, he was a black kid, great singer, great entertainer. And when he was in his teens, his hair went snow white, so he had to wear a wig. His skin was the color of typing paper. I mean, snow white.
Yeah.
And it's called vitiligo. He lost his skin color, and the doctors say, "Look, this is a genetic thing. There's nothing to do for that. Just wear a wig, wear makeup on your face, wear gloves with jewels on it, and nobody will pay attention to your skin color." And they did, and he dies of a ruptured aortic aneurysm because the same deficiency causes aneurysms. Okay, a breakdown of the elastic fibers in the arteries in the brain and the heart, the aorta, pulmonary artery, and the arteries in the brain. So when you say, "Oh, he died of a ruptured aneurysm in the brain," or "He died of a ruptured aortic aneurysm," I guarantee you, we're not even looking at him. He had white hair, okay, and has spider veins and hemorrhoids and all that kind of stuff because it's the same deficiency. Okay, so your red warning light is on. Anything else going on? Any arthritis, peripheral neuropathies?
So my my brother passed away of pulmonary embolism just shy of his 52nd birthday.
Okay, now
And
stop. This is not a genetic thing. This is a nutritional deficiency when you have a blood clot, pulmonary embolism.
and I had the same thing 2.5 years after he did.
Did you have the same? Luckily, did you have the same mother?
Yes.
Okay. Did you eat the same breakfast every morning?
No, our eating habits were totally different, all three of us.
Even when you were babies? I don't believe you.
When we were babies, probably not. I would assume we all ate the same. Yeah, when we were young. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Now, when did you go different roads and start eating differently? When you were a teenager, when you were in your 20s, or?
Yeah, probably teens, 20s, things like that.
Okay. Okay. So you're all raised the same. None of this is genetic. It's called epigenetics.
That's good to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is all reversible. And, within a couple of months in our program, your hair color will go back to normal color in your beard and your hair. And things are healing on the inside when the hair color is getting better on the outside. Okay. So don't get any surgery. Don't get any surgery for your hemorrhoids because they'll go away too.
That's good to hear because I have internal prolapsed hemorrhoids actually, which have been bothering me for about 10 years now.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So basically the biggest issues that I have, the reason I called I'm talking to you, I was concerned for if there's anything I can do for the clotting, because the only medication I'm on is a blood thinning medication, Pradaxa. Everything else is pretty much in check. My
Okay,
blood
I'm gonna-
pressure is beginning to get high. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. So maybe some pre-high blood pressure, some pre-blood clots, okay?
Mhm.
And I have to tell you that, again, blood clots are not a genetic thing, not an autoimmune thing. It's just a simple nutritional deficiency. And so do you have any other issues I need to know about? Do you have any pre-diabetes or diabetes or peripheral
I don't-
neuropathies or?
Yeah, I don't have anything else. The only other thing that is slightly embarrassing is ED has sort of reared its ugly head here.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yeah.
All right. So here's what I want you to do. Get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, so you can maximize absorption, reduce inflammation. And then at 240 pounds, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 full doses of everything twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, your bone itself. Remember, your bone matrix and your bone marrow cavity makes white blood cells, red blood cells, antibodies, platelets, red blood cells. All those things are part of your immune system are made in your bone marrow. Okay. And so were you ever diagnosed with any anemia or anything like that?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So the 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose of everything twice a day, at MSM, 3 times a day. So it's 2 bottles a month of the MSM. I also want you to take 3 of our vitamin D3 capsules twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also want you to take our glucogel, take 5 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. So you can again support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, bone itself, including the skull. Okay. Now, do you have any tinnitus or ringing in the ears, anything like that? Any balance
No.
problems? Even when
None.
you lay down, you don't get any dizziness or anything?
Never. No.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever get any hiccups or COPD, dry cough or?
No. No.
Okay. What about heart issues? Do you have any fast heart rate, tachycardia, AFib, irregular
Oh,
heartbeat?
yes. Fast heart rate lately. That was the other thing I'm forgetting. Yeah, the fast heart rate was concerning me because that was an indicator when I had my my pulmonary my blood clot. I had a saddle PE and it was obviously high. Then it went back to normal. Then now it's going up again. So it's
Okay.
concerning me.
Okay. Well, see, what's happening is here, your skull is squeezing the 10th cranial nerve also, okay, causing what's called tachycardia. Also, every once in a while, if it gets irregular, this is called AFib, atrial fibrillation. And the doctors approach atrial fibrillation is an ablation. They anesthetize you, they cut your chest open, put a hot branding iron in your heart, trying to kill the part of the heart that's running amok. How stupid is that? It's not a heart issue. It's a skull issue, squeezing your
Okay.
10th cranial nerve, okay? So you need to get a hold of that book. It's all in your head. Read that. It'll tell you, it's called It's All in Your Head. And you can go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com, and get a hold of that book. It's all in your head. 25 different diseases you get. You're already describing 2 of them, okay? From your skull squeezing these cranial nerves. And of course, you've never heard a doctor talking about osteoporosis of the skull. Invariably,
never.
usually when they talk about osteoporosis, it's a 70-year-old woman who's had 7 kids and that kind of thing. It never talks about it when you have to go to an orthodontist when you're 12 years old because you have osteoporosis of the face and the jawbone already when you're 10, 12 years old. So they send you to an orthodontist to put braces on. So did you have braces when you were a kid?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. All right. Are you slowly losing some vision?
No, my vision's actually pretty good. I've noticed my right eye is not focusing as well as it used to, and I don't know if that's like
ONA.
age onset.
No, it's not age. It's ONA, optic nerve atrophy, because the skull is squeezing the second cranial nerve called the optic nerve.
Interesting.
Okay, so you're getting 2 things going on there because the skull is squeezing nerves. Okay, and your doctors will send you to his golf buddies and tennis partners who are specialists, ear, eye, nose, and throat, and all this, that, and the other. That way, he knows his partner is making lots of money so they can continue playing golf and tennis together.
Yeah.
Okay, but you do what I say, and it'll all go away.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, George.
All right. Thank you, George. Now, Dr. Wallach, I get so
Go ahead.
many emails in regards to uh, conditions like MS,
MS.
multiple
Yeah.
sclerosis,
Hmm.
or Parkinson's. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many.
Well, they're all related.
Like, they're
Lou
coming out
Gehrig's
of the woodwork.
disease. Yeah. Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, all those things are all really essentially the same disease. They just interfere with different parts of the brain, so they gave it different names. Okay, just like there's a dozen different dementias, but they call them all Alzheimer's disease because insurance pays more for treating Alzheimer's disease than all the other 11 dementias. So why choose the cheapest one, right? So anytime somebody gets, it used to be called senile dementia, right?
Right.
But not anymore, because senile dementias, you don't make much money by treating senile dementia. But if you treat Alzheimer's disease, oh, you're in bank heaven, okay? And so basically, when you have all these brain things, you need to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats. I want you to take 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count. Fried eggs cause cancer. But soft-boiled eggs, for this morning, I had my 3 soft-boiled eggs with soft yolks. I had my 3 big scoops of wild rice, not fried rice, but wild rice. I had also a baked sweet potato with butter. I also had my 2 slices of my Alaska red sockeye salmon that was smoked. And then, let's see, I had the rice, I had the salmon, I had the eggs, and then I had yogurt and gluten-free yogurt. And I had all my supplements. And so I've been doing this for 73 years. Okay. And so it's one of those things where you don't have brain problems when you give your brain all the things that it needs. Now, if they already have these things, it doesn't hurt to throw in some of our what's called de-stress capsules, capital D like David dash stress. Take 3 of those twice a day. It covers about 3 different dementias, that one product, along with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. You can't just take that product. You got to take the whole basic thing plus the de-stress capsules. Then you want to take the ultimate niacin plus take one of those twice a day. That covers another 2 dementias. And then when you're talking about MS and Lou Gehrig's disease and ALS and that kind of stuff, I would also throw in the Synaptive. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And Synaptive gives the brain cells what it needs to make the biochemistry to talk to each other's different cells and things. Let's see here. I also like the Fucoid Z. Take 3 of those twice a day. Anti-inflammatory, supports the immune system. Your brain loves it. Your bone marrow loves it. And it's a seaweed and algae product. And let's go there. But again, you have to live like an Asian, live on rice and beans and sweet potatoes and squash. The seaweed will come from the Fucoid Z, the Z radical, and the Ocean's Gold.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, Dr. Wallach, the next question is in regards to a woman. She's 124 years old. Age.
124 years old?
Sorry. 124 pounds.
Okay.
I'm just making sure you're paying attention, Doc.
Oh, I listen to every word you say, dear.
7 years old.
I apologize. I miss her age.
47.
47. Okay.
And she's currently in Norway undergoing treatment for cancer. But she has also been suffering with thyroid issues for about 12 years. And she was told to juice, and the vegetables that she's juicing most are cruciferous vegetables.
Can't have them.
So we have somebody with cancer, somebody with thyroid issues, juicing cruciferous vegetables. Can you please share with us what your recommendation here would be?
Sure. Well, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, no sugar, no cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflowers, and kale, that kind of stuff's got to go. And then I would also, at 124 pounds, like her to have, she got cancer, I'd go with 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per month, get 2 extra bottles of our selenium. 1 bottle of selenium comes with it. I want her to have 3 of our selenium 3 times a day. So 1 bottle of selenium and 2 extra bottles of selenium with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. So I want her to take 3 of our selenium 3 times a day. Not the selenium from Walgreens. Ours has 5 cofactors in it that are necessary to support the immune system when you have really serious diseases. And then because she has a thyroid issue, I would have her take our Fucoid Z, which is made from the seaweed and the algae, no cruciferous vegetables in there. She could take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also wanted to have our Ocean's Gold. That's seaweed from the other ocean. She could take 3 of those twice a day. That's what I do. I take 3 of each twice a day. And so that's the Ocean's Gold and the Fucoid Z. And let's see here. I also want her to also support the immune system. Take 1 bottle a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. It'll support the bone marrow, right? And bone matrix and so forth. And that will help her support her immune system as well as support maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone matrix, bone cell. And when you want cancer, you want your bone matrix, you want your bone marrow cavity be working at 120%, okay? Because it makes all your antibodies and it's your immune system to help you fight against the cancer. Just taking chemotherapy and radiation could be a negative over time, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Wallach, let's go to our next hand. We are coming to the top of the hour, so let's go to John, who has his hand up.
John?
Go ahead and unmute yourself, John. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. I'm
Yes.
back. I've started your program. It's been a week now. I weigh about 218 pounds. I'm 5'5", 63 years old. So I've got the AFib problem. I got the cardiomyopathy problem. So I'm on your
Ultimate
your-
Daily Classic.
yeah, all the stuff you told me.
Healthy Brain
a couple
Heart Pack,
weeks ago.
okay? Mhm.
The reason, so I've got other issues that are going on and I just want to share those and see if there's anything extra I need here.
Okay,
Last November, out of the blue, my left knee became very infected, like super infected. It just blew right up to the point where over a week's time, I had to go in and have surgery to remove the infection.
okay, now
and-
stop there.
Yep.
How did they remove the surgery, or how do they remove the infection with surgery?
Well, I guess they sliced my knee and there's an incision.
And so
And
they drained the pus and
that's
put it
correct.
out of your knee, okay? And they
Yep.
flushed it out with some antibiotics or disinfectant or something,
That's correct. And they put me on intravenous antibiotics for
okay?
well over a month.
Okay, all right, so what's your question?
Okay, so that's still not, it's even at this point, it's still not 100% healed.
Okay, stop
Um,
there,
yep.
because we only have a moment. So I
Okay.
want you to also add at 218 pounds, I want you to add 2 bottles a month of our MSM. Take 3 of those with each meal, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time.
I'm
And they're
taking
gonna,
that.
okay, they're gonna support, and well, I've got all these millions of listeners that need to hear it too.
Okay,
So that's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone matrix, bone cell. So it's going to support the immune system as well as, help rebuild all the various tissues in your knee and your hips and your back and neck and shoulders and so on. I also want you to take our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's going to help you absorb the minerals and put them in the right place. And so I also want you to take our colloidal silver. Okay.
got it.
I want you to put 2 droppers full under your tongue, 1 dropper full under the right side, 1 dropper full under the left side, a half hour before each meal, half hour before bed. I've been doing that, John, for 25 years. Okay. So I go through a lot of colloidal silver. But in addition to dealing with a regional or local infection like a knee infection, because it goes through the bloodstream to all over the body, but also it's going to help dampen down any viruses, bacteria, fungus, or yeast you may have that hit you. Okay, so by taking the colloidal silver, it's going to help you reduce the risk of something really serious if you do get the coronavirus infections. All right, so it's going to help dampen down the viral stuff. If you want to have some fun, go ask Siri. Hey Siri, how many different viruses and bacteria and fungus and yeast are killed are dampened down by using colloidal silver. It'll freak you out. Everything from HIV to AIDS to polio to Asian flu, H1N1, SARS, MERS, everything you can think of, Spanish flu, COVID-2, COVID-19. And so, and of course, all the bacteria you can name. So this is really, it was the antibiotic of the times for 10,000 years.
Okay, yeah, I've got a bottle. I've been taking it.
Okay, good.
So the other thing is my right knee, I have water on the knee. It's like a big gel pack sitting on the top of my knee, and I
Mhm.
haven't been able to get rid of it for, well, since December.
Okay, well, adding the MSM is going to help you do that. Okay. And so, let's go there. Don't
let's
get any more,
just stay
don't
on-
get any more
on course.
surgery.
Okay, I'll stay on course, and that should take care of it. All of it.
That's correct. Don't forget your colloidal silver.
Yep. Okay,
Okay.
I appreciate
And
that.
but do contact us every couple of weeks and let us know what's going on. You're welcome to call anytime, but don't wait longer than a couple of weeks. Because at your age, this one is 63 years old, you're sort of this sort of middle-aged senior kind of thing. And so you're suffering from things that so many people suffer from. All right, 5'5", I'd like to see away maybe 160, 170 pounds. Okay, so you're maybe 40, 50 pounds overweight. If you want to lose that extra 50 pounds, just getting rid of all the bad foods will help. We also have our keto caramel shake and a keto caramel meal bar. Just one meal a day, use a bar or the shake, not both at the same time. That'll be self-defeating. And you'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And after a month, say, okay, 2 days a week, I'm going to do 2 meals a day. Just come at it slowly and see what 2 meals a day does for you with a keto meal for a month, and see you can't lose that 40, 50 pounds. 2 pounds a day, over a month, you're going to lose 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been on the program for a week now, and my weight is not budging, and I have been doing that 1 meal a day. So
okay, good.
Give
Yeah,
it
well, give
time,
it,
John.
yeah.
give it more time.
Yeah. See, Rebecca lost 95 pounds doing what I just told you to do. We have thousands of people every day who lose a half a pound, 2 pounds a day. Make sure you're gluten-free. Everybody in the household, dog, cat, bird, fish, everybody's got to be drop dead
There's
gluten-free.
only me here.
Okay, good. Look in the mirror, say, am I being honest with myself? Am I eating gluten?
That's the one thing that I'm honest on. It's
Okay.
I've knocked that out for over a month now.
Okay, good man.
Awesome. Keep going, John. You're doing great.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks for your-
everybody. You have just spent the last 2 hours with us, with Dr. Wallach and the SDoc Live team, myself, Rebecca Kozak, John T. McCall, your suit, Nasima Omar, and Ruth Ellen Sanchez. And we are just thrilled that you are taking this time to learn about alternatives that actually work with the great Dr. Joel Wallach. Again, if somebody referred you to this program, get back with them and tell them, hey, I want some of what Dr. Wallach was mentioning. What do I need? You can also call, if you've never spoken with anybody about this program or longevity, call 855-949-7234 or go to our website, askdoclive.com. We've got the store, we've got Dr. Wallach's books, we've got our replays, and we've got a contact us where you can reach out and have somebody contact you back and help you out on this journey. Dr. Wallach, thank you again for another fabulous show.
Well,
We
thank you
love
and your team. Thank you, Ruth Ellen, Nasima, John T. Oh, and this Rebecca girl. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Everybody, we'll see you again next week. Take care. And
Bye-bye.
again, bye for now.